My name is Kasha, and 2 years ago, I bought a 300-year-old house in the mountains of Northern Tuscany. Plan was that my partner at the time, who had experience renovating homes, was going to finish renovating this house while I finished my doctorate in Japan. However, life really doesn't care if you have plans, and last year we broke up. And I made the difficult and very brave, I think, decision to stay and continue trying to renovate this house by myself. Thankfully, I have a lot of support from the local community, and it's always been a dream of mine to have a home that I can learn to renovate on my own. But there's been a lot of ups and downs, and I think you might enjoy the story. So I want to show you where I live and how it's going so far. I grew up in central Canada, and so for me, the weight of the history and the architecture found in these medieval villages all across Italy is just a thing of wonder. The earliest records of this village are from the year 737, when it was already recorded as a settlement. My home, the adjacent piazza, and the church are some of the oldest remaining structures in the village, although dating exactly how old they are becomes challenging when you consider that each part of them was built at a different time. So officially in my paperwork, my house is listed as being around 300 years old, but we know from the masonry that parts of it are much older. You'll get to see this as we enter my house here. Although it won't be the first thing that you notice. The first thing that you'll notice is that I have absolutely no storage to put anything anywhere at the moment. And my house is also a game of spot the camping and hiking equipment, because that is what I spend a lot of my time doing in the beautiful Tuscan mountains here. This cabinet on the right as well, filled with spices, was originally in the kitchen when I moved in, but of course I had to move it out to make room for my beautiful new countertops and cabinets. There's going to be some more put in the sink area, but everything else is staying as you see it here. This beautiful original fireplace that I love so much is staying completely intact. I'm going to be restoring the floors. I'm not sure if I'm going to remove those hand-painted tiles or not yet. I might keep them. And I will be installing that door in the corner properly as well, as soon as I figure out how to do that correctly. I can't wait to move out that old 70s gas stove as well and be able to finally use my new appliances that my electricians are busy wiring in. Coming out of the kitchen, we come into the dining and living space, which actually historically was a festival hall for the village. So there are records of weddings and festas, different events taking place in this space, lots of dances. I want people to be able to come here and wine and dine and enjoy themselves. I don't know if I like the placement of any of my furniture, but everything is still kind of migrating to its forever home. I think you have to spend a lot of time in a space to really get a feel for where different pieces of furniture want to be. This is where we can see the church and the piazza I mentioned earlier, where the congregation still comes each Sunday, and I can hear them singing from my living room. It took me about a month to paint and restore the flooring in the living and dining area. The floor itself took a long time because I had to clean the floors really well. And then the traditional Cotto flooring material, the tiles, they have to be oiled and waxed to be sealed to prevent them from getting dirt rubbed directly into them or getting stained. We now come to my greatest source of shame in the house, which is what I have affectionately called the haunted stair toilet. I don't know whose idea this was. I would love to meet with them and speak to them about their decision making. I understand that it's difficult adding modern plumbing to these old homes, but I don't know if this was really the only other way that they could fit a second bathroom into the house. You'll see the primary bathroom when we go upstairs. This stairway goes down into my beautiful cantina, which unfortunately, again, is filled with building materials at the moment. And remnants of old building materials. I will at some point be laying tiles down here and making it a more usable space, that door there opens up into a beautiful archway onto the piazza with the church that we saw earlier. The stone down here was already beautifully cleaned and the electrics were replaced, so it's now nicely lit up. I think someday it's going to be a really gorgeous space, but it is lower on my priority list because I don't spend that much time down here. You can see also there's two entrances to two different holes, which I've been told by the villagers lead either to a sub-cantina or to a tunnel that actually goes to the catacombs of the church. Someday I'm gonna find out and get to the bottom of that mystery, but not today. You can notice right away a clue that this house was built with a substantial amount of money when it was originally being built, because the steps are made of solid stone. It was likely a wealthy family that had some ties to the church that was able to build this house, and there are historical records of visiting clergy members actually staying in this house as well. I have found a lot of old religious artifacts in the home, buried in all the belongings. Like a lot of Italian houses, all the furniture that you see was left behind here in the house for me to go through. And a lot of the work in the house is actually decanting things that were no longer fit for purpose. You can see my electricians have been hard at work rewiring the entire upstairs as well. They're nearly done. Outside in the smaller piazza behind my home, you can see how my house connects to the neighbors' houses. It's possible that this was all one villa at one point in history. You can see some access points in my home to where there were doorways leading into what is now my neighbors' homes. And then from this landing space, we can enter the bedrooms and my hilarious 70s style bathroom. The bathroom was probably one of the last parts of the house to be renovated, so it's the newest, but I do think it's probably from the 70s. I've got my shower space in there, the world's tiniest water heater, and if I so choose to have it, an open window with a lovely view of my neighbor's house across the street. I'm leaving the bathroom as is for now because I have a lot of other work I have to do in the house, and it's fully functional the way that it is. Here we have the bedroom that I'm currently using, more or less exactly how I found it when I moved in. All of the floors here will have to be restored in the way that I restored the floors in the living room downstairs. Except for in this room, in my first guest bedroom, the yellow room. I actually hate the color that I painted this. I will be changing it. This is the room where I was experimenting with all the materials originally, so this is where I taught myself how to restore the cotto flooring. It's a little rough, my work in here, but it works. And I mixed the paint color myself. I will be changing it to something else. I haven't decided what yet. Also, I cleaned before this video and my electricians came in and promptly drilled a hole in the ceiling and left a bunch of dirt all over the floor. So I thought I would capture it exactly how the house looks today so you can get a sense of what it's like living in a house that's being renovated. My third bedroom upstairs is currently a giant storage space. There's still a lot of boxes I haven't been able to unpack from Japan, and the majority of what was left in the house that I want to keep, different decorations, bits of furniture, old trunks, clothes, all these kinds of things, as well as renovation materials are living in there now. And just when you think the house tour is over because we've got 3 bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs, there's a trap door that actually opens up into one of my favorite spaces in the house. As a book collector, when I started looking for a home to buy, it was so important to me to choose one that would have space for a library, and this room is my whole heart. When I first moved in, it was just a storage space filled with junk. Almost everything from here had to be thrown out. It was just moldy clothes or unusable building materials. I've since had new windows put in, which need to be cleaned, as seen here. But look at that view across the whole valley and across my whole village. I just think it's going to be such a beautiful space when it's finished for me to come and relax and enjoy all of my books. This region is known for its chestnut production, and I really wanted all of the floorboards here to be chestnut to honor that. The original wooden beams that I've had to clean, they're also made of chestnut as well. And there is one more entryway here that goes across to another room I've been working on, the final one of the tour. This will be the master bedroom, also complete with chestnut flooring. The ceilings here are quite high. I would estimate somewhere between 5 and 6 meters. I did measure them at some point at their highest point, and I've forgotten already how high they are. But they used to originally be 2 stories before the second story was taken out. In the library, I did put in the mezzanine, but I think I'm going to keep my master bedroom that high. And someday I do dream of putting a terrace out this window, out the master bedroom window, so that I can enjoy this view with my morning tea every single day. So this is where I'm up to today. Really, the renovations began in earnest at the start of this year, and I'm excited to see where I'm going to be a year from now. Follow along for more.